It's Ashley Collins, your Younique presenter. I wanted to kind of step you through my foundation routine. So as you see, I've been struggling with a lot of redness lately. And my skin has been really dry and red and irritable. So I'm going to start with Glorious, our primer, our face primer. And this is fabulous stuff. A little bit goes a long way. So you just need to rub that in. And this can also be used on the eyes. However, I typically have pretty oily skin. And so their new eye primer is what I actually use on my eyes now. It works a little bit better because of the oiliness. If I use this, it actually doesn't help my eyeshadow stay on. So you need to know what your skin type is to know whether or not this would be also good for your eyes or not. So because my skin has been dry, BB Flawless. It is a complex enhancer. It's super moisturizing. By itself, it is actually pretty light coverage, but I'm going to pair it with the pressed powder, and it paired together, it creates amazing coverage. So by itself, the BB cream actually has kind of like a dewy finish to your face, but then since I'm going to be using the matte, I'm going to be using the pressed powder, it's going to have a matte finish. Okay. So before I actually use the pressed powder, I'm going to use my concealer, the Touch Skin Perfecting Concealer. And I use it under my eyes to highlight, and a little here, and just a little down my nose. A little bit of this stuff goes a really long ways. So you let that kind of warm up to your skin temperature. It doesn't take very long. And then use a brush to buff it into my skin. And the reason I'm waiting until I did my other foundation first, I think a lot of people are taught to use their concealer first. However, I mean, you can, but really your foundation is going to cover 80% of what your concealer is going to have to cover. So, especially when I'm using like the liquid foundation, I always use the liquid foundation and then the concealer. You're going to have to use less concealer that way. And to use the highlighting, you want to use a shade that is it's one or two shades lighter than your natural color, just to brighten that area up. You know, when I'm really tired, it gets dark, particularly in the corners right there. So now I'm going to blend that out. I'm going to use pressed powder. So I use the color Taffeta and my powder puff brush. And I don't work too hard to cover up the redness right here, because that's where I would normally put my blush. So I use my flaws to my advantage. And you also use the powder to kind of set that the concealer. So even when you are using liquid foundation, you still want to use the pressed powder or loose powder or something to go over that concealer to set it. The liquid foundation that I have not used today, it actually dries into a matte finish powder, dries into powder, but the concealer doesn't dry into powder, so you're still going to want to use that. I just get a little on my brush and just add. I'd rather keep adding than put too much on. So there is that. And then this is just kind of natural blush right now, so since my skin has been really red, I haven't been wearing blush as much as I normally do. And then I'm going to use our Beachfront Bronzer. I use the color Hermosa, which is our second, it's the medium one. Malibu's the darkest and Sunset is the lightest. I use this one even though I am really pale because it's good for people that have red undertones. So you get a little bit. I use my blusher brush. I'm going to want to go underneath here, so if you're not sure where it goes, just make that funny fish face. And if my friend Kelly is watching, the bronzer is the one you make the 3 with. She has a hard time remembering which product that is. So you're gonna set, got a lot right there, no fears. And then, so when I'm saying 3, this is what I mean. And this is actually, by doing this right here, it is thinning out your face by using the contouring effect. Okay. So I'm actually going to go back and get my blusher brush and kind of blend this out where I deposited too much there. And there we go. Now I'm ready to move on. Thanks everyone. If you have any questions, feel free to message me. Have a great day. Bye.